Hey everybody, this is Oversized Duelist here. This is actually not a deck profile this time or any kind of report. This is a deck discussion. I want to talk a little bit about scrap monsters. Obviously it's my choice of archetype this format and hopefully more to come. It is the most fun deck I've had in a long time. And I just want to talk about some of the new upcoming scrap stuff in the new set and some tech cards. Just to get some discussion going, I want to hear your guys' opinions on what you guys like to run, and so I get more ideas so I can try them out myself. Looking at some of the scrap monsters from the next set, we're looking at Scrap Searcher being one of the better ones out there. This is a level 1 Winged Beast Earth attribute non-tuner effect monster with 100 attack, 100 defense. While it's in your graveyard, any scrap monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. You can special summon it to the field. This does not include battle. So if you lose a monster scrap in battle, you do not get to special summon this, but use a Scrap Storm, Scrap Dragon, Scrap Twin Dragon when he comes out, any of those kind of effects. It's pretty easy to pop out. When it is special summoned to the field, it destroys all face-up non-scrap monsters on that side of the field. This does give some useful options as far as using special summoning to your opponent's side of the field with Scrap Golem, or Guts of Steel if you happen to want to use that card to blow up all your opponent's monsters and basically net you some free direct attacks or near direct with that 100 attacker. This is also a Winged Beast, so that opens up the use of Icarus attack in the deck. So I personally plan on using at least 2 when that thing comes out, because it's really easy to get out the field or the graveyard. I mean, you run a 1-for-1. You run 3 Scrap Storm, you run a Foolish Burial. It's an easy card to get out. Scrap Twin Dragon is obviously our next boss synchro monster. He's not as good as Scrap Dragon. At first I read that guy going, this is going to be just awesome, I'm going to use him a ton. But his effects are a lot more restrictive than Scrap Dragon. For example, if you target a scrap monster on your side of the field and 2 cards your opponent controls and then chain Scrap Storm on your targeted monster, unlike Scrap Dragon where that works and both effects resolve completely correctly and nothing goes wrong for you, it will fizzle Scrap Twin Dragon's effect. You won't get that. You won't get the bounce as well as dump and draw and all that stuff at the same time. It's a little more fair, to be honest, but it's still a bummer. One of his other current rulings out is if you target a monster or a card on your side of the field and 2 cards your opponent controls, and by the time his effect is supposed to resolve, at least one of those cards is gone. Like if you target a back row card and it was a Book of Moon or something, they can activate that. Since both of his targets were not there, nothing bounces. Either nothing bounces or just the other card will bounce and you still blow up your card. Which I believe the ruling is nothing bounces, but you still blow your card up, and which is bad. I'm really disappointed in it. At least you get your special summoning on Scrap Synchro from the graveyard when he's destroyed. That's always good. I'll definitely make room for 1. There's no reason not to. It's going to be hard trying to find room for two though, so that's going to be up for debate. We're getting Scrap's Soldier, our level 5 tuner monster. Level 5, 2100 attack, negligible defense. Same effect as all other Scrap tuners. He can only be used for the synchro summoning of Scrap monsters, just like Chimera, which is, to be fair, as easy as it may be to get this guy out with Chimera, having a low-level monster, Scrap Searcher and grab a Goyle or something, that's kind of stupid, so it makes sense. With Scrap Twin being as lackluster as he's going to be, I don't plan on running this card. Originally I was hyped up for it, and despite a lot of other people saying they weren't going to run it, I was. I don't think I am now. It's just as easy to it's still relatively easy to get Scrap Twin out using a Golem and a Beast, and so I don't believe I'll be running this one. Some of the support that I know we're getting, I know the bigger one is Scrap Oilfield, which lets you, it's a premature burial basically for scrap monster in your graveyard. However, its effect is negated and you do not get to attack the turn you use this card. I still like it. I'm still going to run 1. It still opens you up for some synchros. You could grab a tuner and Scrap Storm it. It still get all the effects. It's a setup card. It's the same reason I run Pot of Duality. I don't plan on exploding with cards and attacks and synchros the turn I use this card. It's a setup. It's a setup card. It gets you a Goblin in defense mode. Well, I suppose that still won't work, but it's a setup card. I'm gonna run one most likely. I don't see any reason not to. At the very, very absolute least, you can grab a Scrap Dragon or Scrap Twin for a nice 2800, 3000 beat stick. If that's what it takes, why not? It's still going to get its effect when it gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, so you'll still net pluses off of it. There's no reason not to run at least one, in my opinion, depending on the build. That's just how I'm going to run it. Looking ahead, we're getting another level 4 tuner called Scrap Ortholos, and his effect was finally verified. He is a level 4 Earth Scrap Tuner monster, 1700 attack, I believe 1100 defense, it may be lower. He cannot be normal summoned or set. He can be special summoned only if you control a face-up scrap monster. When he's special summoned, you have to select a face-up scrap monster, including himself if you want, and destroy it. And just like the other tuners, you can add a scrap from your graveyard to your hand when he's destroyed by a scrap monster effect. This card is awesome. I'm going to be running it in 2s along with 2 beasts when that card comes out. It's another huge way of recycling that Scrap Chimera. I mean, you have a beast on the field or a goblin. You special summon Ortholos, blow up the goblin, grab your Chimera back, special summon your Chimera, special summon Scrap Searcher when your goblin or your beast was destroyed, summon your Chimera, summon beast, sync for a Scrap Dragon, and then sync with the Scrap Searcher for an Echuria beast. I mean, you can turn two cards into a Scrap Dragon and an Echuria beast with the right setup. There's no reason not to run it just for that scenario alone, which is awesome enough as it is. It's a great card. It's an amazing card. I don't know when we're going to get it. I think at earliest it's going to be a secret rare in Storm of Ragnaros, which is 2 sets ahead. So not anytime soon, but I'm looking forward to it every day. Looking at some tech cards, Level Leader has been talked about a lot. I love him. Some people don't. I love him. When Scrap Searcher comes out, level 1-for-1 is going to be a staple in my deck because I'm going to run at least 1 Level Leader. I played him before. He nets huge advantages. He's a level modifier for synchros. Scrap Goblin, Scrap Golem, and him make Mistworm or Trishula when we get that out. He's fodder for tribute fodder for Golem, effect fodder for Scrap Dragon, Scrap Twin Dragon. It's an awesome card. I don't see any. If you're running the Searchers, if you're going to run a 1-for-1, there's not a reason in the world not to throw in a Level Leader. Scrap Mind Reader is something else that's been talked about. I have no confirmation of its effects, stats, level, none of that stuff, so I can't really discuss it because I have nothing to discuss about with him. Hope he's good. Looking at the other support, the bigger support we're getting, the Machine Emperors. These guys are level 1 Dark Machines that are special summoned from your hand when a card is destroyed on your side of the field by a card effect. This is not limited to just your opponent destroying a card by a card effect. You use a Scrap Dragon or Scrap Twin Dragon and pop one of your cards, and you drop a Machine Emperor. I believe Granule Infinity is the best one right now. It has its attack points are equal to half your life points once per turn. It can equip one of your opponent's synchros to it. It gains the attack of all equipped synchros on him, which means if your opponent's stupid, you can get a really powerful monster out. And once per turn, it can special summon one synchro monster equipped to your side of the field in defense position. So if your opponent's got a Stardust that you've eaten up and you want to tribute it for a one-time destruction negation, go for it. Wisel Infinity is the other much talked about one. This one has 2500 attack and defense. However, it's the only one that can attack. It can suck up your opponent's synchros, and it can negate a spell once per turn. More for control. I like him. I like Granule Infinity better. I'll probably run 2 Granule Infinity, maybe a Wisel. He'll help take some play tests. Just about out of time, so that's all I'm going to use for right now. I'd love to hear some discussion. I want to hear ideas. Talk about Dark Coffin. I still haven't tested that card. I want to hear more. Tell me what you guys think. I want to get a lot of discussion on this one. Thanks a lot.